Don't Know podcast, episode 2. So today I actually have a plethora of topics. It's been a while since I used that word, but you know what I'm saying. A few current events, and I'm going to be breathing a little heavily because for some reason my heart is beating real fast. I just drank a bunch of coffee, so that's probably the reason. Also, still nervous trying to do this kind of thing. Interface, face to face. Or face to lens. Even worse, actually. First thing I want to talk about is Joyner Lucas' new song and video, I'm Not Racist. This video was absolutely stellar. First off, the lyricism on point. Joyner Lucas is one of the greatest storytellers in the game. Easy, hands down. And this presents the actual argument, and not even an argument, just a pretty obvious observation that we have all these conversations within ourselves. You know, you hear white people talk about how they feel about black people, and then you hear black people talk about how they feel about white people. Two likewise people, rather than having this conversation amongst each other. So we have all these people, talking amongst themselves, and then basically hating on each other rather than talking to each other and getting the issues solved. So there's a bunch of biases that we all face on a day-to-day basis. And it sucks, man. It does. But my apologies for that. I'm glad that we have people like Joyner Lucas out there putting out this... I'm really sorry. Hold on. I'm glad that we have people like Joyner Lucas out here putting this kind of narrative into the world, showing such great imagery. Like, when they dropped the hard R N-word in there, it honestly gave me chills the way he said it. I was like, oof, like it's cringy. And then I kind of wish there was also a reverse perspective where you have the black dude asking the white dude or telling him their perspective more about white people rather than and putting out their arguments rather than defending it, because that's how it was. It was mostly the black dude defending all the points that the white dude made. It'd be kind of cool to hear the reverse narrative as well. But I really enjoyed the video, and I'm going to link it below because I want everybody to check it out. Not like everybody watched this, but you know what I'm saying. So I'm going to knock out a few current events right here. That's the first one. And really, check that out. Yes. You guys going to work out? No, but I'm doing something and you're interrupting. Sorry about that, Mom, but I have to edit that out now. Okay, I'll edit that out. Okay. Alright, next thing I'm going to talk about is I've been lately on YouTube, I've been on this deafness kick, so to speak, like watching deaf people's perspective on YouTube. Subscribing to a couple of Lately, I have been on a kick of watching deaf people on YouTube, and I'll give you this one girl in particular who is absolutely stellar. Excuse me. Her name is Jessica Kellgren-fozard. I'm sure I butchered that, but I'm going to link her below because her channel is awesome. I watched like 10 of her videos in a row. She speaks very well, and honestly better than me. And she has an incredible hard time hearing. I believe she says she has 85% deafness and 65% deafness, around there, something like that. Obviously, she's really good at signing. That's something I wish I knew more of. I'm fairly okay at American Sign Language, but that's something I really need to get better at. I always find hearing different narratives of a handicap, so to speak, interesting because she's presenting her whole perspective in a way that everybody can understand, in a way that is just pretty powerful. As like she says, she can't even hear her own voice, and she's speaking so coherently and so proficiently because she tries really hard to enunciate her words as she says, and it's just awesome. And I'm going to link that down below because she's absolutely stellar. And American Sign Language is something I really need to try harder on. But I also feel like I should probably learn something like Spanish. I did not take that in high school like most kids, as I was like, I'm never going to need that. I don't want to take boring old Spanish. Well, now I work with barely any English-speaking people, and kind of wish I knew Spanish. Feel like it would actually help me. And I should have listened to my mom when she told me to take Spanish. Next thing I'm going to talk about is FaZe Banks. Now, if you don't know, FaZe Banks and Alyssa Violet just got in a bar brawl at a bar called Barley's in Cleveland. He was there to visit her parents, meet them for the first time, visit her family, and they were there for Thanksgiving. They had some sort of altercation going on where he wanted to wait for her by the bathroom in a restricted area where they were permitted to by another employee, but the bouncer was not okay with this, or the security. So he tried removing him. Banks said no, and then it escalated from there. I haven't seen all of the security footage, so I don't have a real comment on that. But both sides say they're innocent. You know, Banks says and Alyssa say they're innocent. Barley says they're innocent. I really believe it's both sides. Banks is an awesome dude, but he is larger and aggressive compared to the average person. While I believe at first he wasn't aggressive, I don't think he was aggressive until security was being what's the word? I'm just going to say aggressive for no reason towards him, as he was in his rights and permission to be where he was. But he did not respond in a peaceful manner. He did respond with likewise aggression, which ended up in a lot of altercations. It ended up with him being dragged up the stairs by his neck, him losing a multi-$1,000 bracelet. He spent, I believe, $600 or $700 there. Alyssa got punched in the face by both a security guard or she got choked by a security guard and by a pedestrian, a civilian outside, and also beat up by this couple girls outside, jumped. Banks sucker punched a guy. So it was just a big old mess. And honestly, I believe both sides are guilty to an extent, and I believe there's a lot of missing information, especially from Barley, as their statement is very fragmented. They keep putting out bits and pieces of the security footage. That's not pretty. I'm not a fan of that, personally. If you're gonna, talk about something and present your own narrative, how about you put out the full story? But that's just me. Let me know what you think about that. I'll go ahead and link Banks' channel in the description as well, as he uploaded a full video. That's enough on that. I've seen too many videos about that. I just wanted to say something interesting to check out. Another thing I'm going to talk about is a funny story at work. Two funny stories. Very short stories, more of jokes almost. Today, one of my coworkers walked up. He said, "Cole, why are you so serious?" I was like, "I'm an old man." He said, "Cole, how old are you, 23? I was like, "I'm 20. He was like, "Dude, wait till you're 30 like me." He said, "You know what my doctor just told me? I have high cholesterol." I didn't even know what cholesterol was. I don't know why, but that was a poor delivery, but you can imagine being told that was pretty funny. Then the second thing is, not really a funny story, but just a funny topic. I was talking with a coworker today, and he was saying how today is a very judgmental time to be alive for homosexual people, and I was arguing that today is probably the second best time of history for people who are homosexual, pansexual, stuff like that. And he was like, "Oh, well, what's the other best time?" I was like, "Roman time, bro." He's like, "Well, are you sure the Romans weren't just murdering each other for being gay?" I was like, "Nah, bro. Romans banging everybody. You've seen the movie 300? Those fools were going out, having wars, banging each other, coming back, banging their wives, banging kids, banging sheeps. Man, they were freaking banging everybody, and the wives were just chilling. But those dudes were banging everything, dude. Anything that moved, they were banging it. I don't know what was going on with society, and honestly, I think that's why they stopped evolving. They were too sexual, so they stopped working on science. There wasn't enough scientists, not enough dudes getting laid. But I just thought it was funny when you think about at some point in our evolution, homosexuality became a bad thing. I believe it is more when Catholicism was the biggest power play. But there was a point in Roman history where they were just banging everything. And it's so funny to think about how at some point it became a persecuted thing. I don't know. And it seems like the only thing that remained constant in that is Catholics were like, yeah, no more banging dudes, but we're going to keep banging kids because that's cool. So if you're going to bang a dude, make sure it's 8 years old, according to Catholicism. God bless the freaking Vatican, a sanctuary for pedophiles. I don't know. Just kind of a funny thing to think about, but also not funny at all. Another person I want to shout out is honestly the only reaction channel I enjoy. It's called Buckethead Nation. It is a son and his dad, and I really enjoy how the dad is able to provide this wise perspective. He's older, he's lived life longer, and they react to a lot of emotional stuff, a lot of powerful things, as well as some goofy things like Rice Gum, people like that. But it's really interesting, and it provides another perspective for you to gain from, because I feel like that's something we all lack. We all are stuck in our own shoes, stuck in our own eyes, but that's something for you to look at. I really recommend you checking them out. And then another album that just came out, Jaden Smith, Sire. This is his first album ever. He's had quite a few tapes. I believe he started putting out projects in 2014. I've been a fan of Jaden for a pretty long while. Not too big on his movies, but as a person and as a meme, as an artist, I think he's pretty stellar. Excuse me. Now this album, while lyrically not the greatest, as far as the way it was produced, incredibly cohesive, just all around solid. I really enjoyed it. I was thinking it was going to be alright, but when you have singles on there like Batman, Icon, Fallen, stuff like that, Watch Me, it is just stellar. And then the first 4 tracks are just this, you don't even know the songs are changing at all. There's just this 4-track cohesive masterpiece, in my opinion, called Blue. B for song, L-U-E. Honestly, just stellar. Really check that album out. And then my favorite song on that album is the song Icon, where he talks about how he's an icon living, stuff like starting his label, all these things that he's done. And it's so funny to think that he's only 19 years old. Now, granted, he did come from an affluent family. He's just genetically, on another level due to his brain. Will Smith is, and Jada are both incredibly influential people in their lanes, and Jaden happens to be a part of both those lanes. As well, he's moved on to his own lanes, creating Just Water, doing that with his sister Willow. They do a lot of things together. I believe he's 19 and she's 17, and they're both just killing it right now. So I recommend checking that out. I'll link the song Icon below, and then I would check out the full album on Spotify or wherever you listen to music. That's where I personally listen to music. Dude, I've been drinking so much coffee. Like, I take tea breaks a lot. Like, I'll stop drinking coffee for a couple days. But when I do drink coffee, I drink many cups a day. Like, probably 5 to 20 cups a day. I know that's a really broad number, but that's how it is. I got this Tetris mug from a thrift store. I think it's pretty awesome. It's a color changing mug. But the coffee that I've been really kicking on lately, and this is not a sponsored video, it is called Viking Coffee. I don't know how that comes out in the webcam. I don't know if it's mirrored or not, but I'll link them below. They're actually having a sale right now. But that coffee is freaking delicious, dude. And it's run by a couple of dudes, or just one dude. I'm not really sure. I found them on Instagram. But I really enjoy their coffee. They just released mugs. I believe they're about to release coffee soap. But it's good to support small businesses. They're located out of Ohio. I really recommend you check them out. I honestly. Not that many coffee brands have compared to this one so far. I tried out a lot of coffee. Death Wish is obviously up there for my favorite coffees. Black Rifle's pretty good. But I really enjoy how small these companies are. This sticker, first off, super high quality. Everything they do is high quality. They try really hard. And honestly, they're doing incredibly well. And I really enjoy their products. I wouldn't, just free promote them unless I enjoyed them. But tell me, how much coffee do you drink on a regular basis? That's something I want to know. How much coffee are you drinking? What kind of coffee are you drinking? Shoot me some recommendations. I'd really appreciate that. Now, I'm going to talk about some fitness stuff, some gym stuff. I recently started a fitness Instagram, and I'm, of course, going to self-promote. Link that in the description below. Check it out. It's called Freckcole, FREKCOLE.fitness. Just started it. It's all about vegan fitness, of course. But it's been pretty cool. I've only had it for a couple days. It's not like blowing up or anything, but I really enjoy having a second Instagram to be able to, talk about that kind of stuff without feeling like I'm flooding my normal Instagram. Lately, I've been taking for probably the past month, I've been taking creatine every day, and I've noticed a decent difference, but I can't really tell, as I've also increased my caloric intake and just my overall nutrition. But I'm currently I weighed myself this morning after I used the restroom and all that. Dehydrated. I weighed 146. Not bad. Considering just 2 months ago I weighed 120 pounds. So I've gone from 120 to 130, 135, 140. Now I'm between 140 and 146. Actually, I weighed 148 the other day, but comfortably I think I'm sitting at like 144. I think pretty soon I'm going to hit 150, and my goal is, because I'm single-digit body fat right now, probably around 8 or 9%. I would like to be, if I can get to 12% body fat, I would like to be 175. At single-digit, probably 165. And to put that into perspective, Conor McGregor at single-digit body fat weighs 145. Without single digit, I believe he's around 170, 165. Pretty cool. I don't know. I just always compare myself to Conor McGregor as far as my weight and body fat. We kind of have similar muscle inserts, and he's a redhead, I'm a redhead, But let me know how you feel about creatine, honestly, because I've heard a lot of mixed things on it. I don't know if I'm experiencing, I don't know how to control test it, because as I'm taking creatine, I've also been adjusting my diet, so I need to get on a fixed diet, a fixed, nutrition field, and then watch how stop taking creatine, do that diet for a month, then try a diet for a month with creatine. I'm not really sure. Let me know how you think I should test that, and let me know if you want to hear more about that later in the future. And then a couple things I want to talk about at the gym. I saw somebody doing jumping jacks, and somebody at my work was telling me that they do jumping jacks, and I was just thinking about it. Does jumping jacks really do that much for you? I'm honestly asking. I know it gets your heart rate up and stuff, but I feel like there's a lot of better things to do than jumping jacks. It's super awkward. I remember in gym class when we would do jumping jacks, you got all the dudes' dicks swinging around, all the girls' boobs, bouncing up and down. I kind of feel like it was just PE teachers wanting to see young kids' private parts just jiggling around. I'm not really sure, but I don't know, man. Jumping jacks seem like a waste of time to me. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I just don't see the purpose in jumping jacks. I feel like there's just a huge handful of things that you could be doing instead, even without weights or anything like that. A lot of stuff you could be doing at home. I feel like burpees are a good thing. Even if if you're doing 200 jumping jacks, I feel like freaking 10 burpees is way better. I don't know. But jumping jacks just seems like a waste of time for me. I guess it's a cardio thing, but I don't know. That seems like a waste of cardio, a waste of time, in my opinion. Let me know what you think about jumping jacks. And then last thing I want to talk about is at the gym, I go to GB3, where some of the most beautiful, most fit women go. Jesus, dude. I'm talking. Oh my goodness, man. I just assume that all of them are fitness models because they come in wearing those shorts with a big old booty, and they're just always on point. But I have to check myself from staring as my primate instincts kick in. You know what I mean? And then 2, trying to hit on them because I'm 90% sure girls do not want to be hit on at the gym. I mean, they're all sweating, they're not feeling comfortable, and it's not like I'm impressing them. You know, look, there's dudes like 3 times bigger than me at the gym. You know, it's not like, oh, he's putting in hard work, he's sweating. Everybody's sweating. We're at the gym, you know. I'm really sure that girls don't want to be hit on at the gym. If you're a girl and you're watching this, let me know what you think. In fact, I'm going to do a poll on my Instagram, some promotion, at Freckle, FREKCOLE. Go vote on that today. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you what, I'll post it while I'm on here with you guys. I want you to also drop your IGs below because I need new people to follow. Always looking for new people to follow. Like, I don't know. I try to follow more people, and lately I just started following around over 100 people. Give me one moment while I post this. Do girls like being hit on? Jesus, I cannot type. At the gym? Question mark. Poll, yes or no? Like I said, go follow me on Instagram at Freckle, FREKCOLE. Also, leave your Instagrams below. Pretty freaking please. Because I will definitely be following people who watch this podcast. This has been, I Don't Know, podcast number 2. Next episode, we're going to talk about writing. We're going to talk about pornography. We're going to talk about substance abuse. We are going to talk about reading as well. So reading, writing, substance abuse, pornography, and any topics you guys want me to talk about in between. But those are the main things I want to talk about, main things I want to cover. And let me know how I can improve this. Let me know if you want to see an intro. Let me know if you want to see more editing. I don't know. I've never done this. That's why this podcast is called the I Don't Know Podcast. Let's see how many times I can say podcast in one sentence. But leave any suggestions, any comments, anything I can do better, anything you want me to change down in the comments below. Thank you very much. I hope you have yourself a fantastic day.